Sunday fitness edition of TSR Live. We are brought to you, as always, by Gorilla Mind Rush, the #1 non-habit forming energy and focus supplement on the market. Be productive without the crash or the jitters. If you want to support the show and your dreams, go to donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. All right, let's get right to it. My guest today is none other than the master of gains, Myron Gaines himself. So, Myron, you're down there in Miami, and
yes.
I had a couple of guys on last night talking about the coronavirus, or to keep the video from getting flagged. We'll just call it the beer bug. But when we're talking about the beer bug with regards to working out, I think we can actually use the word. So give me your take on this. What is your take on this whole coronavirus thing?
Well, so the reality is it definitely is deadly and dangerous. That is the reality. But the thing is that there's a certain demographic of people that it tends to affect more negatively.
Right.
But the thing that I guess what I've deducted from looking at the news and everything else is that it's not necessarily that the disease itself is like super dangerous. It's that the rate at which it's spreading is dangerous, and the hospital infrastructure in the United States, at least, won't be able to sustain mass patients coming in. So the containment, all these things are happening to like prevent the crazy speed that it's spreading at internationally. So here in Miami, like everything is locked down, man.
Yeah.
I didn't think we're about a week behind California and New York and everything they're doing. You can still go out and like the restaurants are still open, but like you got to take the food and leave. Like you can't sit down and eat. Yeah, it's basically it's got to be like takeout. So you can't sit in anywhere. The bars, nightlife, pretty much closed. They shut down the beaches. Like a bunch of spring breakers were supposed to be here because this is Ultra Week.
Yeah,
this is
man.
typically like one of the busiest weeks in Miami.
Yeah,
and it's like if you walk around downtown or Brickell or South Beach, for any of the guys that are familiar with Miami, it's pretty much dead, man. So like a lot of spring breakers are here and they're pissed off. To be honest.
Yeah, God forbid, something like a worldwide pandemic get in the way of their
getting lit.
Hashtag first world problems. I totally understand that. Moreover, how do you feel like it has impacted the fitness community? Because we got gyms closing around the country, man, and around the world. Not all gyms are closed, but most of them are. All of the gyms here in Philly are closed. I've heard that they're closed out and over across the bridge, Marlton, Cherry Hill, Pennsauken, etc. What do you feel like the impact on the fitness community could be, just given what's happened here over the last month or so?
Wow, that's a great question, man. Catch me off guard. Nah, I got it. All jokes aside, that's a great question because a lot of people don't talk about this. A lot of people talk about, home workouts, like you could still get fit and all that. No, man, the reality is the fitness industry is taking a hit, and the people that are taking the biggest hit are personal trainers that work with their clients in person.
Yes,
unless you have like a retainer of like you're like a high ticket in-person coach where you're training celebrities and stuff, even that type of work is going to be like limited to some degree because the social distancing and all these other things that people are trying to do. So man, I mean, like the fitness industry is definitely taking a hit. The supplement industry is going to make some money, obviously, because with people are going to like stock up on like protein powders and multivitamins and all that other stuff. But like as far as like in-person personal trainers,
right?
Yeah, I know a couple that are freaking out right now, and it sucks. You got to do everything online. That's the way to go.
Yeah, Deb's personal trainer hasn't been here. Obviously, she's very good at what she does, but she has a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like Deb's trainer has a kid, and you want to be able to do stuff. You want to be able to get out there and do stuff and all that, but it is what it is. I think what she's doing is she's sending Devin instructions on what to do. And I am one of the fortunate, I'm very fortunate in that I have a complete home gym. I don't anywhere. Yeah. I don't need to go anywhere to work out. I can get into and stay in shape. So I'm very thankful for that.
That's huge, man. Having like right now, having your own personal gym is like worth its weight in gold, man.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't foresee the gyms opening up again because they're probably going to be the last thing to open up.
Yep.
After the bars and restaurants and everything else like that. Like they'll probably be the last
to come in, not only in contact with people, but in contact, the sweat, the equipment, like everybody's touching everything at gyms. And I agree.
Yeah.
I think when they start to come back, when things start to open up again, I think the gyms are definitely going to be at the bottom of the list. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and get this party started here, guys. Again, the phone lines are open, 914-205-5356. If you have a question for Myron Gaines, 914-205-5356. So let's go ahead and bring up this this presentation that Myron was kind enough to put together for us. I don't know why it's not. Oh, I need to share my screen again. Give me a second, because I left and then came back. So like a dumbass. There we are. All right, perfect. All right, so all right, Myron. So kick us off, man. So this is how to prevent becoming a fat fuck during the COVID-19 pandemic and set up your workouts with no equipment. Explain to the audience why this is important.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about 5 things that you guys think, 5 things you need to do to really like maximize this time and really protect yourself from getting fat. The reality is everyone's sitting inside, everyone's exercising less. Basically there's a lot of we're kind of have the perfect storm for obesity. So we're going to go over, guys, what you need to do during this time. And then obviously most people aren't blessed like Donovan to have their home gym. So I'm going to go over a home workout that you can do where it's fast and efficient, and it targets all the muscle groups that you want to be hitting to maintain what you have and or even gain some muscle gain. So
there you go.
Yeah, so we're going to break it down for you guys. Hopefully, you'll be able to take some of these things and apply them immediately and prevent becoming a fat ass during this pandemic.
Very good. So this is the question for those of you who have never, this is the first time you guys are watching Myron Gaines. A lot of guys ask Donovan, who is this guy? Well, that's who this guy is on your screen. You guys can see, obviously, he knows his shit. He's ripped. He's in great shape. And if I'm not mistaken, if I can take it back here quickly, Myron, you actually put on weight on purpose. You got all the way up to 250 to see if you could lose it.
Yeah, I'll briefly go over this. So like the photo on the right, guys, was taken August of 2015. I was around 250 pounds in that photo. I'm 6'3". So it was an experiment I did in late 2014 to 2016, where I basically put on like 50 pounds. I was around 205, went up to 250. And I did what people call in the bodybuilding community a dirty bulk, which basically you're just eating whatever. A dirty bulk, yeah.
Dirty bulk, okay.
Yeah, so it's like I ate like in a massive calorie surplus. And I got stronger and stuff, but at some point, diminishing returns started to hit. I wasn't making as many strength gains. I got fat in the process, and I was like, fuck this. And then I like lost the weight again. It took me about 7 months to lose it because like I like to diet sustainably. You guys should definitely check out the fat loss episode me and Donovan did, where we broke this down from A to Z with references and everything in the comment in the description box.
Okay, perfect.
I got fat. I've been skinny. I've been both sides, so I know what it's like to be on both ends of the spectrum when it comes to like mediocre fitness. Yeah, man, I've been training for about 12 years, and hopefully we can give you guys a lot of value-loaded content. Me and Don have been working together for a while. We have a bunch of videos together.
Yep.
So a lot of them are like they're saved in Donovan's thing, where we talk about fat loss, we talk about nutrition, we talked about how to build muscle. Sorry, what was that?
We've talked about sugar. We've talked about alcohol. We've talked all kinds of stuff, man. We
have like a mini fundamental series on Donovan's channel, like that breaks down everything with scientific literature. The studies are on the description box. So I'll be referencing some of those in this presentation, but I'll refer you guys to the video so you can check that out too, because they're really like informative.
All right, let me go to the phone lines here. I've got a caller in already. Let's just go to the phone line here just to see this question. Area code 514. You're on live.
Hey, what's up, Donovan? What's up, Myron?
What's up, man?
Well, I guess I'm kind of a fat ass. I've always been, but recently, I've kind of tried getting my shit together. So I wanted to know, like, what kind of mentality you want to have, like, if you start going on that weight loss journey for the first time, while not like losing that kind of like energy about it.
Okay.
Know how to keep his motivation. I think that's what he's asking.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a great question, man. We touched on this on the fat loss presentation. I'm going to give you like some basic rudimentary principles. So number one is you got to pick something that you can stick to. So like adherence and sustainability is literally like the foundation of success with anything, whether it comes to fitness, improving your dating game, whatever it may be. Your methodology for getting to success needs to be sustainable over the long term. So if you love eating carbohydrates and then you just jump on a ketogenic diet because you heard you'll lose weight quickly, that's not a recipe for success. That's basically a short-term solution to a long-term problem. So first you got to figure out something that you can sustain. Once you get that pillar down, then you can start going on the next things that are important, which is, a calorie deficit, creating a training plan that you enjoy, being able to commit to a certain amount of sessions that you can go to the gym without some type of hindrance or impedance on your progress. So these things need to be set in place. And the other big thing is that motivation isn't enough to truly get the gains in this fitness thing, man. What you need is like a mission. Like it's got to be like intrinsic to you,
What kind of mission are you talking about? Like,
okay, let me stop you right there. See, this is, and again, I'm not trying to bag on you here, 514, but you're starting you're starting to delve into how can I stay motivated. Myron's right. It definitely takes more than motivation, but motivation is the biggest factor. There has to be something to motivate you. For me, my motivation was being a fat ass. I used to be a fat ass like you. I was highly motivated not to be a fat ass, because when it comes down to it, if you can't stay motivated, then this is all going to be useless. So, and I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not going to pretend to try to be, but the way I stayed motivated is I just looked at pictures of dudes I wanted to look like, right? Like when I see fitness goals pictures or guys ripped in the gym, that doesn't make me depressed. That motivates me. I'm like, yeah, dude, I want to look like that guy. That's the goal. So whatever it is that you have to do to, I guess, to stay motivated, definitely do it. But you're going to have to understand that when there's a lack of motivation, it's indicative of an underlying lack of desire. I have never lost motivation dude, there has never been a time in my adult life where I was just not motivated to get and stay fit. Even when I was gaining weight, when I was a fat ass, I never, whatever was going on around me, I stayed motivated because I don't know, maybe it's a personality thing. I don't know what it is. But if you're having trouble staying motivated, then you need to ask yourself, hey, do I really want to get into and keep in shape? So what it comes down to, that just comes down to intestinal fortitude. Nobody can tell you how to stay motivated. So, all right, let's go ahead and get the slideshow presentation started, my friend. Let's do it.
All right, man. So first, unless you've been living under a rock the past fucking like 3 months, the world is pretty much on a shutdown, everybody. Yeah. Everyone's stuck in their house with their girlfriend that they don't like, or their family, or whatever it may be, because of this virus. So basically, the coronavirus is an infectious disease. It's that originated in China. All right. Most people that are infected, basically the symptoms are, illness, coughing, and it requires special treatment, right? And it's basically like a flu. And then older people and people with underlying health issues typically tend to be more susceptible to this virus. So that is what it is in a nutshell. And the spread has been going, obviously it's been spreading like rapid fire. So that's why everybody's like on quarantine and containment, because this thing is literally like crippling other countries with how quickly it's spreading.
Crippling,
so,
man.
Yeah, dude. So, that's basically, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So I'm just a quick overview of what it was in case you've been living under a rock. So next, and basically you can't get toilet paper, right?
Yeah. So, right.
So the first thing you guys need to do during this pandemic to prevent becoming a fat fuck is you need to track your calories. Okay. I always say it, what gets measured gets managed. You got to understand in this day right now, like people are more sedentary right now than like ever, you know what I mean? Because people are sitting at home, they're hoarding food, they're watching TV, they're drinking alcohol, they're chilling, they can't go to the gym. So now all the people that like don't want to train have like a convenient excuse like, oh, well, I don't have any equipment, I can work out. You know what I mean? So, lazy people always love convenient excuses. And this is probably one of the best excuses to become a fat fuck ever. So the way to keep yourself honest is to track your calories. And I've been doing this myself pretty religiously since this thing started, because you got to make sure, guys, that you don't go over your total daily energy expenditure, which we broke this down in the fat loss thing, but long story short, it is your maintenance calories to maintain your current body weight. Right. So whatever that number is, it's typically whatever you eat every day where you maintain the same weight. So let's say you eat 2,000 calories per day and you maintain 200 pounds. You can pretty much say around 2,000 calories your TDEE. So I wouldn't go above that drastically day per day during this quarantine, especially if you're not exercising, because this is probably the most vulnerable position you'll be where fat gain is going to happen, because you're going to be way more prone to eating a calorie surplus with the lack of exercise, the sedentary lifestyle, and just in general being around people are going to be less active now. You know, they're not going to go outside. They're not working. Their non-exercise activity thermogenesis is going down because they're not walking around and doing things that they normally would do while at work or wherever it may be. So you got to portion control your food in this epidemic. Like, if you never tracked calories before, even me as an advanced guy, I'm fucking tracking my calories.
This is the time to do it, man, for sure.
This is the time to do it, guys. Next, it amazes me, man. I know I always harp on this on my Instagram and on my social media, but like, it amazes me how many people are active, but they don't eat fruits or vegetables like at all, like ever. And
I don't know how.
If there was a time, sorry, what was it?
I don't know how people can not eat fruits and vegetables. I don't
know. There's so many guys, and this is, again, nothing against guys that do carnivore or anything like that, but this is why I'm not a big proponent of diets that restrict and or eliminate entire food groups, man. Eliminating an entire food group, it's like you're handicapping yourself. You know what I mean? When it comes to, like, it's not just about looking good, guys. It's about feeling good too. And vegetables are like a non-negotiable. Like, when it comes to like optimizing health and performance in the gym, you need to have your body firing on all cylinders to efficiently be recovering and adapting to the training that you're doing. Now, with this global pandemic that we got going on, where literally pre-existing illnesses make you more susceptible to death, you need to eat vegetables. Like, you know, so you need to definitely, like if there's a time where, like, I'm going to harp, you need to fucking eat kale and spinach, excuse my language, but guys, eat your fucking vegetables. Like, eat your fucking vegetables, man. Like,
there's there's no shortage of kale at the grocery store, right?
Yeah, dude. We're going to, so.
Ain't nobody hoarding carrots. You feel me?
Dude, so check this out. Guys, and this is a great time to buy these foods. I'm going to tell you guys why. I was at as you guys know, I live in Miami. I went to Publix and I went to Whole Foods. The vegetables and fruits were still there, guys.
That's right.
But I'll tell you what was cleaned out. The chip aisle was fucking gone.
Oh yeah, see that? The fucking cookies, the ice cream, the ho-hos.
Yeah, dude. Everyone bought them fucking Doritos, but no one was looking at the spinach. So, you know, and the benefit for you guys is that these foods don't have a high shelf life. So these fucking ass clowns aren't going to sit around, and they can't hoard these things.
No, they can't.
Right?
No.
So they're buying up the cereal, the chips, the cookies, all these crappy foods. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Meanwhile, the vegetables and the fruits are still there. So this is the time to be buying this stuff, and people can't hoard it. So, you know, this is a good time to start developing good habits, and eating vegetables is a cornerstone of that. If not for improving your performance, at least for your health, to boost your immune system to prevent getting sick and putting yourself in a compromising position during these times. So that's mandatory, guys. You got to eat your fruits and vegetables. I suggest kale, spinach, blueberries, strawberries. I'm a big fan of berries because they're pretty voluminous. You can eat quite a bit of it. It tastes good, so it feeds that sweet tooth.
Yes.
And it's fucking loaded with micronutrients, man. Your vitamin C, etc. So, which is very important for the immune system. But yeah, vegetables, don't want to harp on it too long, but eat your fucking vegetables.
Oh, by the way, Ed Exley says no fruits and veggies. That's crazy. What? Somebody made to believe that Captain Crunch is a food group. No, man, Captain Crunch is a goddamn food group. God damn it. Good comment there by Ed Exley. Appreciate that. All right, here we go. Oh, the water intake. Well, this is
man.
When people say practice what you preach, you are the embodiment of practicing what you preach. It's so funny. In the comment section every once in a while, and the only comment section I ever look at are the ones here because I just, anyway. And people are always like, yo, Myron practices what he preaches, man. He's always drinking that water.
Yeah, man. So guys, water, it's a liquid of life, man. Obviously, you can go days without food, but you can't really go long without water.
Right.
And then Also, water, I call like water's pretty much like the lubricant of gains. Okay, not to make it sexual, but like literally, water is going to help you with improving your health, improving your performance in the gym, and just your overall well-being.
Right.
There and to show you guys how critical, and we talked about this in Nutrition 101. I really want you guys to go and check that out after this. We talked about water and we went into depth about how a minor level of dehydration will significantly decrease your performance. And they did a study actually on guys doing the bench press, and they found that guys were like lifting like 20 to 30 pounds less from what they normally do, their regular volume, just off of a minor dehydration. So that should show you how important it is. Basically, to keep it simple for you guys, if you're not pissing clear all day, you're fucking up. And water is also very important for maintaining your immune system as well. Vegetables and fruit work in tandem. Vegetables, fruits, and water intake are critical to like boosting your immune system. Like this is non-negotiable. Water is required.
Okay.
So especially during this time.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
And it'll help you curtail, like, a lot of people are drinking like a shit ton of alcohol and, soda and all these other things. When you drink water, it'll help you like alleviate that thirst. So you're going to be less prone to drink those drinks that have calories in them. I'm not a fan of drinking calories, and I'm not saying that because I'm like some diet zealot or like some healthy food zealot. But at the end of the day, the amount of calories that you have per day is a budget. And drinking soda and other calorie-dense drinks is like the equivalent of like buying a Ferrari when your net worth is only 300,000. You literally spent like 250.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Real quick, James Martinez asks a very good question. Speaking of water, let me go back to that slide. What is a good intro workout drink? In other words, what's good to drink during a workout? Is that water or?
I would go water. I know there's a lot of guys. You know what? That's a good topic idea. We should do one on supplements, Donovan, in the future. We get this a lot. So I know a lot of guys, what people are going to probably say, oh, BCAs, what do you think about BCAs? Guys, the literature basically shows that like BCAs are practically fucking useless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're better off just getting your BCAs from food. So as far as like an intro workout, like for the really advanced guys that are training like, multiple times a day or an endurance athletes or whatever, yes, like some dextrose and water or like some kind of carbohydrate based drink might help you. But let's be honest, most guys are going to the gym, training once per day, trying to improve their aesthetics, trying to be a cosmetic athletics, as I call it, right?
Yes, right.
You don't need all these things, for intro workout, because you're not a high level athlete that needs that stuff. If you're like a Division I athlete, you're a professional athlete, yes, Gatorade, these types of things will benefit you. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
For an average Joe, water gets 90% of his job done.
Listen, James Martinez benches 500 pounds, bruh. Like that dude is strong. Like he's like strong. Like I wouldn't fuck with James Martinez. All right. Anyway, had a really good comment here by Ed Exley. He says, if you get hungry, drink a glass of water, wait 15 minutes, still hungry, then eat something. A lot of so-called hunger is just dehydration. I like.
That's true.
What do you think?
That's very true. Yeah, that's an old bodybuilding technique to curb hunger. Drinking water definitely helps alleviate hunger for sure. Especially like towards the end of the day when you're like low on, like you want to save your calories or whatever. Like drinking water will help you like extend it a little bit longer so that you don't overeat.
Excellent. Very good. Good question there by James Martinez. Okay. Train hard. No, harder than you think. What are you working
on?
All right.
Yeah. So basically, damn it, it cut off there a little bit with the PowerPoint. But yeah, basically, guys, that's my bad. But guys, during this time, obviously you have a lot more free time. People aren't working. People are just hanging out, sedentary. Pretty much they're stuck in their homes. So especially with the type of training that you're going to be probably forced to do, unless you're like Donovan and you have a home gym, you're probably going to be doing home-based, calisthenic-based workouts. So you really need to push yourself, okay? The same stress that you get from training with weights isn't necessarily the same with calisthenics. So basically, you can beat yourself a little bit harder into the ground with calisthenics. And on top of that, and you could do a little bit more volume. And then on top of that, your capacity to recover is increased because you're not moving around as much, you're not working, you're consuming more calories just by default of not moving around and having less NEAT or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So you need to work, or you need to train harder to get the most out of your training. And I'll give an example of this, right? So when I was in college, I rode Division I, right? And what we used to do was in the wintertime, we would do training trips, okay?
Okay.
And these training trips, we'd go down to Florida, like Bradenton, whatever it may be, Sarasota area.
I've been to both of those cities, Bradenton and Florida.
Exactly, yeah, nice areas. And we would go down there because I went to college in Boston, and it was cold. It was like freezing. So we'd go down there like December or whatever during Christmas break, and we would train like 4 times a day, like 3 to 4 times a day. And the reason why we did that was without school, without classes, without the stress of exams, etc. We were free. Yeah, we were free. So what did we do? We took that time to get stronger, faster, more fit. And a lot of people look at it like, oh, I'm going to take a vacation. No, fuck that. What you should do is take a training trip if you have that downtime and focus on getting fitter and stronger and maximize that time where you can recover. I always say that it's important to train hard, but recover that much harder so that you can adapt, overcome, and then increase the load over time. And that's basic premise of progressive overload, which we also discussed in the hypertrophy presentation. You guys should check that one out too. Hypertrophy 101 on Donovan's channel.
Yes.
So yeah, guys. So like, instead of thinking, oh my God, the gym's closed, I can't make it, all this other crap. No, don't make excuses. Train harder than you normally would because you now have the luxury of being able to recover
and doing it all the time, man. Like you can train for real. Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Hoard correctly. So listen, we're seeing people hoard toilet paper. We're seeing people hoard paper towels, all sorts of paper products. What are your thoughts on this hoarding correctly? Explain this to us.
Yeah, man. So most people are cheap, guys. That's the reality. Obviously, you guys are listening to Donovan Sharpe, so you guys, are in touch with how things really work on a different number of things when it comes to fitness, dealing with women, finances, becoming a better man in general. You know what I mean? We get fed a lie. So the reality is, guys, there's no food shortage. Okay, there's just a shortage of common sense. So people are, people are coming in and fucking buying toilet paper out the wooza, like, and buying all these other like things, and it's like,
dude, right? Like, come on.
Yeah, during an apocalypse, like what? We're all gonna have clean assholes. Like this is what we, you know what I mean? Like this is what we're working on. So, definitely, guys, take this advantage to buy foods that common people, like people that aren't serious about this shit, aren't buying. When I was at the grocery store, protein bars, protein shakes, everything that was like conducive to success in the gym was readily available.
Still there.
The only thing I couldn't find was like cans of tuna abundantly, but they were still there.
That's because cans of tuna are non-perishable. That's the only reason why people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and I was still able to find them. It's just that, it just wasn't as in abundance. So you can definitely get the healthy foods, guys. You can pick them up. So take this opportunity where people are buying stupid shit to, get your veggies in, your fruits in, your lean meats. And if your grocery store currently doesn't have the stuff in stock, don't worry. Come back again. It's going to be there because at the end of the day, the beauty, I guess it's a gift and a curse with fresh food, is that it has an expiration date. So it's always going to get restocked. You know what I mean? It's always being made and cultivated. There's no food shortage, guys. Don't look at the supermarkets and think, oh my God, there's no food. We're all going to die. No, that's not going to happen. It's just that people are buying up all the stupid shit. So it creates the illusion that the grocery store is empty and there's no food. Because remember, guys, I always tell people this: you got to all the foods that you typically want to eat are on the perimeter.
That's right.
Of the grocery store, right? All the shitty stuff that makes up 90% of the grocery store is in the middle. So when from a psychological standpoint, you walk in and you see everything empty, you're like, oh my God, the world's gonna end. But it's like, no, dude, they just bought all the Doritos. Like, you don't need that crap anyway. So, so that's really what's going on. So don't panic. The healthy foods are still there, and that's what you should be consuming anyway. Now, with that said, I'm not a totalitarian, like, oh, only healthy food. No, you can definitely eat your chips, your candy, whatever it may be. It's got to be within reason, man. Like, if 80% of your calories come from healthy sources, your micronutrient dense foods, that, and then another 20% comes from foods that you enjoy. You want to have a bag of chips, you want to have a Snickers bar, whatever it may be, and it's a small portion of your total calories. That's fine. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, energy balance does dictate weight loss, despite what people want to tell you. But at the same time, you don't want to feel like crap. Yes, you can lose weight eating 2,000 calories of McDonald's every day and improve your health markers. But are you going to feel good? Are you going to feel satiated? Probably not. So you want to make the cornerstone of your diet predominantly health foods with a little bit of variance for things that you actually enjoy for those special occasions.
Good stuff. All right, let's go to the oh, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Let's go to the next slide. All right. So how does it work out? This is what we're waiting for.
Cool. So I posted about this on Instagram, how to basically set up your home workouts, guys. And for guys that work with me, I actually have like a couple of programs that I just created. One is the first version is like no equipment in the gym at all. Like you have no equipment, like literally like you have a table or a chair and that's it, nothing. So 100% calisthenics. The other one is if you got a pull-up bar like an iron gym or whatever it may be. And then third is if you actually have a set of dumbbells or bands that you can do, unilateral movements, like a bicep curl or wherever it may be, so that you can use the dumbbells or the bands for resistance. So when you guys set up your home workout, man, the reality is you want to be efficient with it, right? And get the most out of it that you can, because calisthenics they're a strong stimuli for muscle growth, but they're never going to be the same as weights. So full body movements, I feel, give you the most bang for your buck. And when you do full body movements, you can increase your frequency, therefore increasing your volume, which we also discussed in the Hypertrophy 101 presentation. You guys should definitely go check that out because we're talking on those types of principles. But the basic principles you want to keep in mind are you want some kind of leg movement, some kind of push movement, and some kind of pull movement. Okay, and basically you work your entire body if you hit those three movements. Obviously the pull. Anytime you pull something towards you, you're hitting your back, your biceps, shoulders, etc. Anytime you push something away from you, you're working your chest, your triceps, shoulders, and then anytime you do legs, you're pretty much hitting your quads, your hamstrings, calves to an extent, etc. So you're getting a very high ROI for the movements that you're doing based on like what you're hitting. So
a lot of bang for the buck.
Yeah, a lot of bang for the buck. So you definitely want to set it up that way. And then I also like to include some type of core exercise that hits both your lower and upper abs. And to hit your upper abs, guys, typically it's crunching forward, right? And then to hit your lower abs, it's raising your legs towards your head. And then some kind of plank movement that's a static hold that's working the entire core. With those 5 movements, you're pretty much hitting your entire body in an efficient manner. And it helps you save time, and you can work out and then focus on other things. I know this is like a stressful time in a lot of people's lives, but you can get this workout done within an hour, and I typically would set it up where I'm going back to back, taking 30 seconds to a minute rest in between each movement and really pushing myself each exercise. So pretty much like I'm on the verge of failure, if not hitting failure.
There you go.
Because
and that's
that your capacity to recover. Sorry, what was that, Donovan?
It's possible to work until to work until failure with these kinds of exercises. So you can get a good workout in.
Yeah. And I would say with calisthenics, you want to be, so we talked about, obviously rate of perceived exertion and reps in reserve with weight training, how important that is to mitigate failure, because when you constantly take sets of failure with heavy weights, well, your ability to recover is diminished. And then if you don't recover, then you don't adapt, you don't grow muscle, etc. Right? But with calisthenics, you can kind of push the envelope a little bit with as far as like intensity goes, volume, and reps, right? So this is why you look at prison guys. Why are they so jacked? Well, they're getting a fuck ton of volume in. You know what I mean? They're doing 1 million push-ups.
And they sleep a lot.
Exactly. So their ability to build good physiques comes from their ability to increase volume, and they have free time to recover, and they're getting in adequate calories. So boom, recipe for success.
They ain't got nothing but time in the clink, bro.
Exactly, man. So that's why people, what's the secret? Why are why are prisoners so jacked? It's because they're contained to a room all day where they have nothing to do but exercise, and they're getting fed. So you need to treat yourself as if you're in jail as well and do the same thing. The only difference is you didn't kill somebody. So yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
So yeah, man.
All right, let's see here. Let's go to that's the end. I think that's
that's the end.
Good. Excellent.
And then I don't know if you wanted to, we don't got to play that IG.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I forgot about that. Yeah, we absolutely can play that. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm going to get that queued up. While we're getting that queued up, James Martinez asks a very good question. What are your thoughts on alkaline water versus non-alkaline water? Now, you're going to have to forgive my ignorance here, Myron. I've heard of alkaline water, but I don't know I have no idea what it is or what purpose it serves. I've heard of it before, but I've never really been up on that. And we're going to get to the calls here in just a second.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make a difference, man. Like, asking things like, and no, James, that's a good question. But, asking things like, oh, alkaline water, it's like the equivalent of like asking like, hey, what screws and bolts should I use on this door that I installed? And this is like, what's more important is the door is strong and powerful. The screws and stuff like that aren't necessarily that important unless once it hits a certain threshold of quality, it doesn't matter. So, just drink your water. Don't worry about alkaline or non-alkaline water. Tap water's fine. Don't let these like losers scam you. Oh, you need to drink bottled water. It's superior. Like,
yeah, right.
Like if you live in the West, you're 9 out of 10 times your water's going to be safe to drink. Unless you live in like a third world country, I wouldn't worry about minutia like that.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so we're gonna play this. This is the coronavirus home workout video, and after we watch this video, we are going to get to the phone lines, 914-205-5356. Again, that's 914-205-5356. If you guys want to get in on the conversation, here we go.
I got the corona. No, I'm just fucking with you. What's up, guys? Myron Gaines.
I haven't watched this yet. This is great.
There's a global pandemic right now with a disease named after a shitty beer that no one really drinks, and it's the same color as young. But have no fear. I'm here to help you get the game. Dude, a lot of people are under stress right now. I'm going to teach you guys a home workout that you can implement now with no equipment, very efficient, very quick, so that you can go on and focus on things that really matter, like finding fucking toilet paper. It's going to go like this, guys. You're going to do a leg movement, a pull movement, and a push movement, followed by 2 abdominal movements. In the abdominal movement, I like to be efficient with it. You want to do something where you're crunching towards your legs while simultaneously having your legs up and coming towards your head. That way you work both the upper and the lower abs. Then we're going to add a plank movement to hit the entire core. Circuit fashion, do all the exercises back to back with a short rest in between. And that right there is how you get the gains nice and efficiently, so you can focus on other things that you got to worry about, like paying your bills, getting laid, not catching the corona in your fucking slides and socks. So without further ado, let's get into it, guys.
All right, guys. So the first movement is going to be the squat. As you can see here, I'm focusing on breaking my knees and my hips at the same time, coming down with a tight core and getting my legs either parallel to the ground or slightly below the knee joint for as far as depth goes. Here's a front view, focusing on spreading those knees, keeping them in the same plane as my toes. If you have issues with that, you can do it with your arms in front of you. That'll help you balance. And if you can't do that, this is the easiest version of the 3. You can hold on to some type of stable platform or railing, etc., and squat from there to keep yourself upright. Next is inverted row. Step 1, you're going to retract those shoulder blades down. Then you're going to squeeze your glutes up, and you're going to pull yourself up as seen here. And what you really want to focus on is keeping your core nice and tight, body stiff, and pulling through those elbows as with any pull movement. If you can't do that, do it with your feet on the ground. It'll take some of the load off. And if you can't do that, do it with a glute bridge and pull yourself up from this position. This is the easiest of the 3 and can be done for people with weaker upper bodies. So you can still get some kind of pull movement in. Next, if you have issues with a table, then you can use a chair. You can do a chair row. What you're going to do is you're going to have a tight core, knee slightly bent. You're going to hinge at the hips slightly. Then you're going to pull that chair into your belly button as seen here. And you want to make sure that you switch sides when you do this so that you don't disproportionately work one side of your body harder than the other. Okay. Next is the push-up. You're going to start from a plank position like this with a straight body, tight core. Then you're going to bring yourself down and push. And what I want you to focus on when you're doing push-ups is pushing yourself away from the ground. If you can't do push-ups, you can do assisted push-ups where you keep your knees on the ground. The premise, though, guys, is you always want to put those shoulder blades down and keep those glutes squeezed when you're doing this movement. Next is the bicycle kick. You want to crunch yourself up forward and then make the elbows touch the knees as you do this movement as shown here. Next is the plank, self-explanatory. Hold yourself up and work the core. You're going to do this for 5 rounds back-to-back with a short rest in between, 30 seconds to a minute. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That's how you make these fucking corona gains. This is just one of my workouts. If you need more, hit me up for some coaching. I got a whole routine based on home workouts during this pandemic. Peace.
Yo, you are a fucking, hang on a second. Dude, you're a natural, man. Like, dude, that was informative, and that was fucking funny as shit. That was great.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get my production value like you, dude. I'm like over here, like filming on my phone. The big thing for me was I try to create exercises that like everyone can do. So like, all right, you can't do this. Here's an amendment to that. So if for less experienced guys, so like I want to give it to everybody, you know, regardless.
See, I mean, assisted squats. Very, very good. Excellent, man. All right, let's get to the phone line, man. We got the phone lines. Let's get to the phone lines, man. We got people waiting. Let us go to area code 404. Area code 404. You're on live with Donovan and Myron. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hello?
Yes, sir. You're on live.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm actually calling from work. Even though everyone's getting quarantined out here, a security guard still got to go out here and,
damn, are you serious?
Different locations. Yeah, I actually work for my name's Terrence, by the way, from Atlanta.
Okay.
What's up, Terrence?
And my part of my job is to look over cybersecurity of over 600 power plants. So, it's fun having to still come out here to work.
That's an important job, dude.
As for me, I'm a skinny guy. I'm not a fat ass like everyone else was, but it's hard for me to gain weight. I've been at 145 since I was in high school of 9th grade. Wow. And I have been trying to figure out like a good diet plan or a good strategy to keep working out, but I feel like nothing really works for me. What are you guys' advice?
Yeah, it sounds like he's a hard gainer, man.
Yeah. So obviously your goal is to get bigger. So I know exactly how you feel, man. When I was in high school, I was 18, I was 164 pounds, and I was like 6'2", and I could not gain the weight. And you're probably not going to like hearing this, but the reality is, man, you just got to eat to the point that you're uncomfortable. Clearly, you're gifted with a high metabolic capacity, which is great because you can focus on building lean body mass, and then when you want to get shredded and diced, it's going to be easier for you. But the negative of that is that you're going to have to eat to a point where you're full and you're still eating, and it sucks. But you got to basically train yourself to be able to eat a lot of calories and put yourself in a slight surplus. What was that? I'm sorry.
Almost like you have to stretch your stomach, right?
Yeah, it's basically it's like adapting yourself. There's a bunch of studies that show that like when you eat at a certain time, the same food every time, whatever, like you basically program your body to eat to be hungry for that food. That's why like people like that always eat lunch at like a certain time at 12. They're starving, like, oh my God, I need to eat. But in reality, it's like more of like a mental cue because they're so used to eating like that. So I would say focus on getting more calories in, but don't make the mistake I made where you were eating in a high calorie surplus and you get fat as fuck. You don't want to go on what we call a dreamer bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So I would figure out your TDEE, aka your set point, your maintenance calories, and put yourself somewhere between 300 to 500 calories above that and gain weight nice and slow, 3 to 4 pounds a month, and then work from there. And then as long as you're getting stronger in the gym, you're getting your weights are improving, etc., you're going to probably make some gains. Now with this quarantine, you're not going to have access to a gym. So focus on being able to get more repetitions in, maybe less rest in between sets, being able to use time under tension. I know I make fun of time under tension all the time, that is BS. But in situations like this, it's a great way to gauge progress. Because if you're able to hold yourself at the top, like for example, you're doing a chair pull-ups, the table pull-ups, if you could hold yourself at the top for a second and then slowly lower yourself down, and you weren't able to do that 3 months prior, well, that's what I call progressive overload. You're getting better at the movement in another facet. So, yeah, man. But yeah, you just gotta eat more, bro. Like that's I wish I could. You just gotta eat more.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and milkshakes in the middle of the night, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's how I did it. You just gotta get those calories in, but be careful and don't eat too much and get fat. You don't want that either.
Right. Yeah, because a lot of times skinny guys will eat a lot and they'll get skinny fat, and you don't want to be skinny fat. I'd rather be fat than skinny fat. That's no man's.
Absolutely. You want all that lean body that weight that you gain to be predominantly lean body mass. You want to minimize fat gain.
Excellent. All right, let's go to area code 724. Area code 724. You're on live. What's your question?
Yeah, Donovan, Myron, this is Pimp Out East. I got a question for you guys, man. I have a home gym coming, but it utilizes resistance bands. Now, I don't know how to quantify resistance bands. Like, I'm not sure, okay, you know what, I'm at 30 pounds. Okay, you know, how do I know if I'm getting better, you know, or how do I know if I'm not getting where I need to be? And I'm not sure how to quantify that.
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say, because yes, I get what you're saying. Like resistance bands can be fleeting, because if you hold them at one end, like let's say you step on it at a certain point and then you pull, it's going to give more resistance than at another point. So what I would do, two metrics you can use to measure it. Okay. First, easiest, repetitions, right? Yes. And you keep the control consistent where you're stepping on the same part of the band. Now, with that said, what I would do is, I don't do resistance band training that much, but one way that you can track it, just because of this reason, that it's difficult to quantify, start making marks. Take up like a marker or something like that and make marks on your band.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously that way you'll know where the set points are of certain resistance, and you'll know how many reps you're doing at that set resistance, and then work off of that, if that makes sense, so that you put your foot down on the band from that point. Or use the same mechanism to contain the band that you use every single time.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So it's consistent.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's almost like what they like to call muscle confusion, but with sort of a progressive overload flavor to it, I suppose.
Yeah. So like muscle confusion is like the word. Like I hate that term. It's like, I always tell guys what you want to focus on is like not what was it, like you want to keep things consistent so that you can gauge progress. Because if you're changing your workouts all the time, it's really difficult to gauge your progress. This is why like I'm not a fan of like CrossFit, because for hypertrophy reasons, right? Because the workouts are so wonky and they're changing all the time. The WODs are changing all the time, and you're doing movements that are like Olympic lifts that aren't really conducive to hypertrophy because you can't get the required volume in, and they're like dangerous. So it's like that's why I'm like you got to make a plan, stick to it for like 4 to 6 months, and then gauge your progress when you keep the controls the same. So with the bands, I would make marks in the band so you have a set point of like what type of resistance is at each point, and then as you get better and better, use those set points differently as you progress and get stronger, if that makes sense.
Good. Excellent question. All right, let's go to area code.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, area code 906, you're on live.
Hey, Donovan, good to talk to you again.
You too, man.
Yeah, this is Thump again. Hey, I'm 50. I'm a vet. I wrestled in high school, so
good.
I'm like freaking huge from the first Gulf War. I got like tons of mass. So mass isn't the problem. The problem is the second war wiped out my knees. So running is out, squats are out. I didn't skip leg day in the first war. I got massive muscle everywhere. So Not a problem there. My problem is getting enough cardio without being able to run, ride a bike. Going up and down steps is a bitch. I can walk about mile and a half every day. That's max. And then I'm done. I can't do anything for the rest of the day. So what can I do to get more cardio?
Well, this comes back to what your goals are. So, and me and Donovan we talked about cardio quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
In a couple of the other episodes. And Donovan actually gave a great point about how when he was doing a lot of cardio, he was beastly in shape from doing spin class, but like his performance in the gym suffered.
My lifts dropped by like 30%. It was incredible. It was incredible, man.
So it depends on what's your goal exactly.
450.
Thanks.
What's your goal exactly? Is the real question.
Well, picture a silverback gorilla because I'm only 5'8".
Oh, okay.
You're
right.
A bull.
I got that silverback gorilla belly.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're trying to lose body fat.
Well, it's solid though. It's internal fat, and I know diet does some of that, but my diet is fresh fruit, veggies, and meat.
So he's eating clean.
Beef, chicken, and pork.
Yeah, he's eating clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, man. So, so the reality is this, man. If you're, and I'm not going to beat you up about this, but I'm just going to be very candid with you. I don't know what the fuck internal fat is. It's either you're fat or you're not. You know what I mean? If you have too much adipose tissue, which is a fancy term for fat, then you're fat, and you're fat from eating too many calories. Energy balance dictates weight loss. So, literally, if you were to like look at your body and you have a high body fat percentage, that's a culmination of eating in a caloric surplus for a prolonged period of time, and that's just the reality. Now, you probably do have some great muscle development underneath that body fat, but for it to be shown, you're going to need to put yourself in a sustained calorie deficit for a prolonged period of time. So I think what your question was, and correct me if I'm wrong, is, hey, I want to lose body fat. I want to use cardio to lose said body fat, but I can't because my knees hurt. How do I do cardio? What you should really be asking yourself is, how do I lose body fat, and is cardio required? And what I'm going to say is that it's not. What you should be focusing on is putting yourself in a deficit in the least invasive way possible, in a sustainable manner you can stick to, putting yourself in that diet and riding that bitch till the wheels fall off, and not incorporating cardio unless you're like an endurance athlete or you have some kind of heart issues and you need to do it, until it's absolutely needed to induce a calorie deficit. So cardio should never be the primary modality of exercise if fat loss is your goal. It should be a tool in the toolbox to supplement your diet and weight training to lose the body fat.
And it's very,
does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. And it's
where
very,
I'm at.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult to sort of untrain your mind to think that cardio is the way to lose fat. But
yeah.
I agree with you, Myron. I think it's definitely supplemental because, like I said, 2 summers ago, I was in relatively good shape. I was probably a little thicker, and I did spin class the entire summer. My endurance was way up, and I was ripped. But in the gym, my strength suffered so much. So I was like, you know what? And you guys all remember, man. I was doing ridiculous amounts of spin class and cardio. Did 2 in 1 day twice. But then I had
Donovan lived through this, guys. So listen to him. He actually lived through this.
You look great, but I don't want to look strong. I want to be strong. Now, of course, all of us, we want to look strong and be strong. But the fact of the matter is, and I had to learn this the hard way, I burn fat faster when I don't do as much cardio. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but you're gonna get a cardiovascular workout simply by lifting weights. It doesn't matter if you're doing this little thing with the hand bike or if you're doing jumping jacks or on the bike or running. Cardio is cardio. Anything that gets your heart rate up is going to be cardiovascular. Well, you also get a cardiovascular workout as it happens by lifting weights. Lifting heavy weights makes you tired. Your heart rate elevates, and this is why I like to leave the least amount of time between reps possible so that my heart rate can stay up. You understand what I'm saying? So some people like to, lift, they'll bench press 225 10 times or whatever. Then they'll take like a 5-minute break, wait till their heart rate slows down, and then do it again. That's not a bad thing.
I never looked at that way.
Right. But that's not a bad thing if you wait 5 minutes, but maybe wait for 2.5 minutes, right? And then maybe wait for a minute. And here's something else I'd like to add here, because I think this will help this guy. We talk about progressive load. I benched 225 today. Wednesday, I benched 230. Thursday, I benched 240, or Friday, I benched 245. Okay. There's another way you can do it. And I did this back in the day. I did what was called progressive timing. And I did exactly what I just said. I would bench press 225 10 times. I'd wait 5 minutes, do it again until I got to my 5 sets. Well, the very next day, I'd bench 225 10 times. I'd wait for 4.5 minutes. The next day, I waited for 4 minutes, all the way up to the point to where I was benching 225 10 times, waiting 1 minute. I tried to do it for 30 seconds, and I couldn't do it because it's a motherfucker. So the shorter the time between your sets, the better a cardio burn you're going to get with weightlifting. And oh, by the way, shortening the time between sets also greatly increases your muscle stamina and endurance.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, just focus on, if your goal is fat loss, focus on getting there in a sustainable manner that you can adhere to, number one, and then that's going to be the least intrusive on your lifestyle. And if you have bad knees, then cardio is not something, conventional cardio isn't something you should be looking to do. You should be looking to, curb your calorie intake, train intelligently with weights, and focus on that. And then if you do need cardio, you hit like a plateau and you truly have no other means, then you can go into like swimming or other types of things that aren't as impact
swimming
heavy.
Cardio. Swimming is
cardio. So cardio is but if you enjoy cardio, that's different. So you can start swimming now if you like. But if you're just trying to look good and you don't really care how you get there, I would say the optimal way to do it is to go nice and slow, with weight training, calorie deficit, focus on the things that matter the most, and then go up that pyramid as far as things that aren't as important.
Okay, good call, man. Very good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Pimped Out Geese, who just called us, sends in a $5 super chat, says, one more question, since I'm more sedentary and the rest is there. Okay, I got it. Can I work out twice, same routine, adding calisthenics? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I would build into it. So like, let's say you did your first workout. I would do like, you can, there's two ways you could do it. You can split up and do 2 workouts a day, or you can start just slowly increasing volume, like increasing your sets or decreasing your rest, or doing more reps. So there's different ways you can do it. I'm not personally a fan of training twice a day because like it just brings back horror memories of being an athlete. But if you have the time and you enjoy doing it, then that's great. There's nothing wrong with training twice a day either. It's just that you just got to account for that and make sure that you recover. I always say train hard but recover harder. So as long as you're able to recover, you're fine. This is why guys that take steroids train so goddamn hard in the gym, is because they can recover from it. You know what I mean? They can take 20 sets to failure per workout per day all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent answer. Okay, let's go to area code 330. Area code 330. You're on live with Donovan and Myron. What's your question?
Thank you very much. I'm Amar from Ohio, and thank you, Myron. I have 2 questions. My first question is, can I get gains with 30 to 40 second rest time between the sets, because my supply at home is limited? So to keep resistance, I need to bring rest between sets down to 30 seconds.
So rest between sets to 30 seconds, because right now he's at 40 seconds rest between sets. He wants to know if you can make gains only resting 30 seconds between sets. That sounds pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
What's the modality of your exercise? Are you like using weights or are you using like calisthenics? What are you doing exactly?
I'm using basic barbell and dumbbells. That's the only thing I have.
So rest periods. Rest periods are important to some extent because obviously they basically control the cadence of the workout, the intensity and everything like that. So it's good to track them because it keeps the controls consistent so that you can see if you're progressing or not. But I wouldn't get too tied up with rest periods. Rest periods are important for like beginners and like guys that are like trying to get the foundation in and everything like that and figuring out what they're doing. But the studies show that like multitude of rep ranges build muscle all the way from like 6 all the way up to like 35 reps. And what the studies show is that, for like more advanced guys, like guys that like, because if you're a beginner, you're going to make gains no matter what you do almost. But like for guys that are, and I don't know what your experience level is, but if you've been training in the gym for at least 2 years or so in an educated manner, eating enough calories, training with good form, all these things, at that point, that's where rest time starts to become more important. And what you would want to do is, they say around 2 to 3 minutes seems to be the sweet spot for hypertrophy, for like for more advanced guys. But it's definitely case by case basis. I would need to know a little bit more information to give you. I'm giving you a very broad answer right now because I don't know a lot of information about you. But rest periods, I wouldn't be hung up on them unless like you were a beginner, because beginners need that control. You know what I mean? Or guys that are like intermediate beginners need that control, but like more advanced guys don't necessarily need it.
I am intermediate, so I could do, let's say, 1 plate each side on shoulders. But at home, I don't have plates, so I have to drop, let's say, 30 seconds, 40 second rest time, and start new set within 30, 40 seconds.
Why not just where are you in the world?
He's in Ohio.
Sorry?
He's in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ohio?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's cool for now. But and here's another thing, too. I want to let you guys all know with these home workouts. I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you guys. If you're a guy that's like advanced in the gym and you've been lifting weights for a while, home workouts aren't going to really necessarily, unless you've got like a dumbbell set or something like that at your house or, traditional weightlifting equipment, it's not going to really help you build that much more muscle. It's going to help you maintain what you currently have.
10 seconds.
So I would say as soon as this pandemic is over, everyone get their ass back in a conventional gym and train. You know what I mean? But there's no excuse to become fat and or lose your gains during this pandemic, because it's very easy to maintain your muscle mass versus gaining that muscle mass. I'll say that again. It's very easy to maintain the muscle mass versus gaining it. So what's required to maintain is a lot less than what it takes to make it. So I would say maintain what you have, and then get back, and then keep the intensity up. And then when you get back in the gym, focus on going back to weights and increasing your rest periods so that you can actually, how do I say this? You can take sets, you can lift appropriate loads conducive to success.
Okay.
So if your rest periods are too short,
Okay, very good. Very good. Excellent answer. Okay, the last call of the day, area code 619. You're on live with the guys. What's your question?
I just had a couple of questions. I heard the other gentleman talking about band work, variable resistance training. I've been doing it for about 2 months now. I used to go to the gym a lot, and now I primarily have a home gym set. What's your thoughts on variable resistance training? I'll
be right back, Myron.
With it. Yeah, no worries. So you said variable. So you're talking like band training?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just like with the other question, it's a good way to maintain what you currently have, but I wouldn't rely on it to build muscle mass. You know what I mean? Because again, it's very hard to gauge progress on bands. It's just not. It's not the same as picking up a 30-pound dumbbell and having it be consistent every time. Versus bands, you got to you got to use it a certain way, and that's why I encourage the last caller to make marks on his bands so he knows exactly what type of resistance he's looking at per area. So, but it's a good fix, but you're basically putting a Band-Aid on a hole. It'll keep the water from flooding, temporarily, but I wouldn't do it for a long period of time. If it's, especially if you have access to a gym.
Okay. The other one is, so as far as cardio, I absolutely hate cardio. And when
I don't blame you.
I look for an excuse to not do it. I'm lazy as hell when it comes to that. In fact, I'm restarting my cardio program, and I primarily do 3 things: sprint intervals, long distance. When I mean long distance, 2 to 4 miles, and burpees. The worst one out of all those is burpees, but it's fast and furious. So anywhere from 100 to 200. But as far as the best one for fat burning, people seem mixed on that answer. Do you think sprint intervals are the best, or sustained? I guess not long distance, but sustained long period, an hour of brisk walking. What's your opinion on that?
Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to get out of your mind this idea that I'm doing an exercise and it's burning fat. What burns fat is a calorie deficit at the end of the day for multiple days in a row consistently. That's what burns fat.
Yeah.
Okay. The exercise activity itself doesn't necessarily burn the fat. The exercise activity helps a little bit with inducing a calorie deficit and retaining muscle mass that you currently have. It's the energy balance that dictates the weight loss. So if you're in a calorie deficit, your body starts oxidizing adipose tissue. If you're in a calorie surplus, your body starts generating adipose tissue. The training is merely to maintain the muscle mass you have and or give you a slight edge in putting you in a deficit. So don't think I'm doing this HIIT exercise, I'm burning fat as I do this. No. Because if you eat in a calorie surplus, that HIIT was a waste of fucking time. Does that make sense? So what you really want to focus on is not necessarily the workout so much if your goal is fat loss, because obviously weight training needs to be the cornerstone of what you're doing. But what you need to focus, what's more important is with fat burning is how many calories you're taking in per day, how many grams of protein are you taking in per day. You know what I mean? So, how much fiber are you taking in per day? These are questions that are really that are more important than asking, hey, should I be doing HIIT or should I be doing this? Does that make sense, kind of?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
So I just want you to change your frame of thought like that. It's not what exercises burn the most fat. No, fuck that. How many calories then do I need to eat to burn fat is what you should be thinking.
There you go. Excellent.
Yeah, and just to add, when I was married and comfortable and got fat, I was eating stuff that's bad for me, and obviously I ballooned up. And when I started cleaning up that diet, I was able to lose most of that. and now that I'm at an area where I'm stuck at the 4-pack and I can't quite seem to maintain that 6-pack, and I'm pretty certain both of you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's like one of the worst places to be, because you're just in shape enough to where you're almost there, and if you get that 6-pack look, then you're starving. And,
right.
Yeah, so you're in that awkward middle zone, man. So I would need to know more information about how you lost that weight, because I guarantee you probably lost a lot of that weight from basing your training around cardiovascular activity, and your body probably hit a plateau, something called metabolic adaptation, which Dr. Lane Norton talks about extensively in his book, Fat Loss Forever, which I suggest everyone read. But long story short, when you put yourself in a prolonged period of time, put yourself in a deficit for a prolonged period of time, especially if it's through unsustainable methods, you set yourself up for a plateau. And once you hit that plateau, it's very difficult to break it, because you got really two options. You either A, reduce your calories more, and if you're already taking in like 1,000 calories, that's nothing. Or B, you increase your exercise activity, which is not an efficient way to put yourself in a calorie deficit. This is why I don't like cardio, because these heart rate monitors tell you, oh, you burned 500 calories doing this. No, you fucking didn't, man. And me and Donovan did an experiment on this, actually, where heart rate, and there's a bunch of studies to back this up. Heart rate monitors, and I think we did a podcast on this, on like 5 fitness myths.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say we did it at the end. I think it was like number 4 or 5, but yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, we did one. We did a myth one for you guys, and basically we talked about heart rate monitor type, heart rate monitors, all these things that tell you how much calories you're expending. Dude, they're all inaccurate. So this is why, this is why it's so important to track your calories, because you can actually control that to some varying degree. Versus like cardio, oh, you went for an hour, you burned 500 calories. No, you didn't, because you got to remember that as you get fitter and fitter and do the same set exercise, your body burns less and less calories, because your body becomes more efficient at set activity. This is why endurance athletes are endurance athletes, because they bank on the fact that their body gets more adept at that exercise. They burn less calories doing the same set activity, aka they're getting fitter. That's bad for guys like you though, because you don't want that adaptation. You want to be able to still burn the most calories offset activity. This is why I always say reserve cardio for the end of your diet when you start hitting plateaus versus the beginning, because you have more variables to play with in your fat loss journey when you do hit those inevitable plateaus like you're at right now. But hit me up on the side, man, and we could probably talk about this a little bit more extensively, because I would need to get some more information. But I'm certain that you hit metabolic adaptation. You did so through probably severe calorie restriction and then an over excessive cardiovascular activity.
And listen, truer words were never spoken. At the beginning of the summer, when I started my whole spin gangster routine, I was burning calories left and right. By the end of this, or by the middle end of the summer, I was doing the same amount of work. I wasn't burning as much calorie. I wasn't burning as many calories because my body had adapted to the cardio. So in other words, it's like a drug. You have to do more and more to get the same effect. If I wanted to burn as many calories at the beginning of the summer as at the end of the summer, I had to do about 40% more cardio. Nobody's got time for all that.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, it's a compounding problem, because not only are you getting fitter and you're burning more calories, but as you lose weight, your TDEE comes down with that, guys. So like, let's say you were so it's like you're basically getting stretched at both ends. So like, think about it. You're as you lose weight, right? Let's say you ate 2,000 calories and that was a deficit for you. You lost 1 pound a week eating 2,000 calories. Well, after a couple of pounds are shed, your TDEE, aka your maintenance calories, comes down along with that. So now you're getting more fit at the exercise and your calorie needs have come down. So what are you going to do? You're getting stretched at both ends. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like a double whammy when you're doing cardio and you're losing weight and you're getting fitter. So
okay,
good question though, man.
Yeah, very, very good question. Let me see. I didn't see any other questions in the chat. Choose Freedom wants to know your opinion on DHEA.
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
Hang on, let me Google it, because I don't know what it is either. It looked like D.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. So supplements, guys, we'll do, because we get asked this a lot, man. Every podcast we get talked about, we get asked supplements. We'll do a podcast for you guys on what supplements are worth it, your money, and which ones aren't. And I posted about which ones are are like the best on my Instagram, but we'll go into a little bit more depth on each one, and then we'll tell you what not to fucking buy too, because I didn't talk about that.
Okay, so DHEA is dihydropiandrosterone. Wow.
What the fuck?
Dihydropiandrosterone. That's what it is. It's a hormone produced in your body's adrenal glands. These are the glands just above your kidneys. DHEA supplements can be made from wild yam or soy.
So is it like a fat burner?
I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, guys, most supplements are bullshit, man.
Yeah, they are.
Like, don't waste your money, guys. Like, we'll do an episode for you guys. Basically, to sum it up for you guys, a creatine, a whey protein powder, which is really a food, a fish oil, a high quality multivitamin, and what's the last thing? And like a pre-workout, like some caffeine, man. That's really all you need.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Gorilla Mind Rush. So you know,
dude, that's the best fucking pre-workout there is, man.
But like things like this, guys, and we're gonna come up with the top 5 best supplements, break it down for you guys, dosages, what you should be investing in, assuming you have everything else right. Remember, guys, supplements are solely to supplement what you're currently doing, assuming you're doing everything else correctly. Supplements come at the end. Once you have your cart and you have your horse, then you can start talking about getting blinged out blinders and all this other shit. You know what I mean?
That analogy good.
So that's how you should look at supplements, man. Like, am I going to bling out my horse?
Listen, check this out. I don't think it's a supplement. Guys are saying it's a pro hormone. So Myron is 100% clean. He's 100% natural. So he doesn't know anything about performance enhancing drugs or the effect. All of the advice that he gives is based on if you are clean, if you're a natural athlete.
Yeah, I train. Yeah.
I'm not natural. I do HGH and testosterone. So I'm not on anything like trenbolone or whatever ends in ONE. The only ONE I'm on is on testosterone.
So I'll say this for that guy. Last point, my bad.
No.
If you aren't already using drugs, like, or your performance enhancing drugs, guys, because I know there's a lot of young guys watching this and guys that like want to get in shape and they have that immense pressure. Guys, train naturally for as long as you can, man. Don't go into the dark side until you literally have no other option. You've maxed out your natural potential. Your test is too low. You need to get it from your doctor, whatever. Cool. But guys that are 18, 20 years old, whatever, if you already have tests going. You wake up with a boner every day. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't have issues. It's just there's no shortcuts to this, guys. Because once you go into that realm where you're starting to take testosterone and these other things, you're going to be dependent on it, man. So and if you're not making a living off of bodybuilding, or you're not stepping on a stage in a thong and oiled up, and you're not making money off this shit, or you don't got endorsements, like, it's really not worth it, man. So train naturally as long as you can. Once you get older, your T starts to drop and you need it, and you're doing it under the care of a health provider like Donovan is, right? And a bunch of other guys I know, then that's different. But like, max out your natural potentials, get the rudimentary basics down, because if you don't know what you're doing and you take steroids, you're still going to look like shit, man. So focus on getting those lifestyle habits down first, man, before you even go down that road. Obviously make your own decisions, but just be safe about it. And yeah, it is what it is. I can't control what you're going to do, but I always advocate guys to train naturally as long as they can.
If you wake up with morning wood, you don't need TRT.
Boom, there you go.
That's the rule of thumb. When you no longer wake up with morning wood, you definitely need TRT. Okay, very good. Okay. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you very much to Myron Gaines. I appreciate you making time for us as usual. Follow him.
Thank you for having me, Donovan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. At Unplugged Fit, and that is Unplugged Fit. That is singular. And your website, please.
Oh, it's unpluggedfitnesslife.com, guys. You can book a consultation there, or hit me up on Instagram at unpluggedfit. Or I have my Twitter. All my handles are on Unplugged Fit. Hit me up there. I'm pretty active on Instagram. Post pretty much almost every day. Informative content, research-based stuff. Check out Donovan's videos, guys. He's going to make a playlist for you guys on this stuff. But we basically broke down a lot of this stuff when it came to fat loss, building muscle, nutrition 101, with all the studies in the description box. Literally, it's like a beginner's encyclopedia right there for you guys, where you guys can go in and like really figure out, and I basically distilled all this stuff and summed it up in a presentation for you guys, so you guys can digest it immediately.
Good.
Good. So yeah, man, hope you guys enjoy that, Donovan. Thanks for having me on, dude. This was a great show.
Take care. Starting tomorrow, tomorrow, guys, I got a big day for you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is day one of me breaking down the show Love is Blind. I'm going to break down the show Love is Blind all next week. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to have Joker from The Better Bachelor on the show as well. So tomorrow, a pretty big day here at TSR Towers, trying to keep things fresh. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Later, guys. Tune in.